Before you walk away, there is something you deserve to know. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you spent years carrying pain no one ever noticed. Maybe you smiled through heartbreak, worked through exhaustion, forgiven people who never apologized, and kept moving even when your soul wanted to stop. If that's you, then don't leave just yet. Stay for a few more minutes, because this message might be the one thing your heart has been waiting to hear. Life has a strange way of making us believe that endings are permanent. A closed door feels like the end of every possibility. A goodbye feels like proof that we weren't enough. A failure convinces us we'll never succeed. But the truth is, some endings exist only to guide us toward a beginning we couldn't have imagined. Think about every difficult chapter you've survived. At the time, you probably believed you'd never recover. You thought the pain would last forever. Yet somehow, day by day, breath by breath, you made it here. That isn't luck. That's proof of a strength you don't always give yourself credit for. The world often celebrates loud victories, big promotions, expensive houses, and perfect-looking lives. But the greatest victories are usually silent. Getting out of bed when your heart is heavy is a victory. Choosing kindness after you've been hurt is a victory. Continuing to believe in tomorrow when today feels impossible is a victory. No audience applauds those moments, but they matter more than anyone realizes. Somewhere along the way, many people begin measuring their worth by how others treat them. If someone leaves, they feel unlovable. If someone criticizes them, they feel worthless. If someone forgets them, they assume they never mattered. But another person's actions are not the definition of your value. People leave for countless reasons that have nothing to do with your worth. Some people are simply not ready to appreciate what you bring into their lives. Some people are fighting battles they never explain. Others only recognize value after they've lost it. None of those reasons change who you are. You were valuable before they arrived, and you'll remain valuable long after they're gone. There are moments when life feels unfair. You watch good people struggle, while dishonest people seem to succeed. You wonder why your efforts go unnoticed, while others receive opportunities so easily. Those moments test your patience more than your ability. But remember this: comparison steals peace faster than failure ever could. Everyone's journey moves at a different pace. Some flowers bloom in spring, others wait until autumn, yet both become beautiful in their own season. Your timing doesn't have to match anyone else's. What belongs to you will not be taken by someone else's success. Every setback you faced has quietly been teaching you something. Rejection teaches resilience. Loneliness teaches self-discovery. Failure teaches wisdom. Disappointment teaches discernment. None of those lessons feel pleasant while you're living through them. But years later, you'll often realize they prepared you for blessings you weren't ready to handle before. Imagine if every wish you'd ever made had come true immediately. You might have ended up with relationships that would have destroyed your peace, jobs that would have trapped your potential, or opportunities that looked exciting but secretly led you away from the life you were meant to build. Sometimes unanswered prayers are hidden protection. We rarely understand that in the moment because pain demands immediate answers, while wisdom usually arrives later. If you've been carrying guilt, let this be the moment you begin putting it down. Yes, mistakes matter. Yes, we all wish we could change certain decisions, but living forever inside yesterday steals tomorrow before it even begins. You are not only the worst thing you've ever done, you're also every lesson you've learned, every person you've helped, every time you stood back up after falling, every act of courage that nobody else saw. Growth isn't pretending the past never happened. Growth is allowing the past to shape a wiser version of yourself without becoming your permanent identity. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to tell you that you're enough. You've waited for parents, partners, friends, bosses, or strangers to give you permission to believe in yourself, but that permission has always belonged to you. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's choosing to move forward, even while fear walks beside you. You don't have to know every answer before taking the next step. You only need enough courage to take one step at a time. Life changes in small decisions, repeated consistently. A single kind habit, a single honest conversation, a single act of forgiveness. A single choice to keep going when quitting feels easier. Those small moments slowly build a completely different future. Most people never notice the transformation while it's happening, because change often looks ordinary, until one day they suddenly realize they're no longer the person they used to be. So before you walk away from this chapter of your life, promise yourself one thing. Don't walk away from hope. Don't walk away from your dreams simply because they're taking longer than expected. Don't walk away from yourself because someone else failed to recognize your worth. The story isn't finished yet, and sometimes the most beautiful pages are the ones written after you almost gave up. Life has a quiet way of surprising the people who refuse to quit. It rarely happens overnight, and it almost never arrives when we expect it. Instead, change often appears after countless ordinary days, when you keep showing up even though no one notices your effort. One morning, you wake up and realize the pain that once controlled your every thought has become smaller. The person you couldn't stop thinking about no longer has the same power over your heart. The dream that once seemed impossible suddenly feels within reach. None of those moments happen because of magic. They happen because you chose not to give up. Every sunrise is proof that darkness has an ending. No matter how long the night feels, your life works the same way. Difficult seasons are chapters, not permanent addresses. You are never meant to live forever in fear, regret, disappointment, or loneliness. Those experiences may visit you, but they do not own you. There is a version of yourself waiting on the other side of today's struggles, stronger, wiser, calmer, and more grateful than you can imagine. Sometimes we spend so much time looking back that we miss the doors opening in front of us. We replay old conversations, old mistakes, old heartbreaks, hoping that somehow thinking about them one more time will change what already happened. But life only moves in one direction. The past can teach you, but it cannot carry you forward. Every minute spent wishing yesterday had been different is a minute stolen from creating a better tomorrow. You deserve a future that isn't controlled by memories you can no longer change. That future begins with the choices you make today. There will always be people who doubt you. Some will tell you that your dreams are unrealistic. Others will remind you of every mistake you've ever made. A few may even hope you fail, because your success makes them uncomfortable. Let them talk. Opinions have never built a meaningful life. Action does. Stay focused on becoming someone you're proud of, rather than someone everyone approves of. Approval changes with the crowd, but character stays with you forever. Never underestimate the power of small acts of kindness. A smile offered to a stranger, a message sent to check on a friend, a few encouraging words to someone who feels forgotten. These moments may seem insignificant, yet they can completely change another person's day. The world often becomes better, not because of grand speeches, but because ordinary people choose compassion when they have every reason to be bitter. Be one of those people. Kindness is never wasted, even when it isn't returned immediately. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is forgiveness. Forgive the people who hurt you, not because what they did was acceptable, but because carrying resentment keeps you connected to the pain. Forgive yourself for the decisions you made with the knowledge you had at the time. Every human being is learning as they go. Perfection has never been the goal. Growth has always been enough. Imagine looking back at this moment 5 years from now. Will today's worries still matter? Some of them will, but many will have faded into memories. Problems that seem overwhelming now may one day become stories you tell about how far you've come. That perspective doesn't erase today's challenges, but it reminds you that your current situation is not your final destination. There is more ahead than what's behind you. The people who inspire us most are rarely the ones who had easy lives. They are the ones who faced disappointment, rejection, failure, heartbreak, and uncertainty, yet refused to let those experiences define them. They kept moving, even slowly. They kept believing, even when evidence was hard to find. They kept choosing hope, even after countless reasons to stop. You can do the same. Your strength isn't measured by how often life knocks you down. It's measured by how many times you're willing to rise again. If no one has told you this recently, let these words stay with you. You matter, your story matters. Your presence makes a difference in ways you may never fully understand. Someone has smiled because of your kindness. Someone has learned from your example. Someone has found comfort simply because you were there. Never believe the lie that your life has no impact. Even the smallest light changes the darkness around it. As you continue your journey, don't wait for the perfect moment to begin living. Wear the clothes you're saving. Take the trip you've been postponing when you can. Tell people you love them while they're still here to hear it. Laugh without worrying about how you sound. Chase the ideas that keep returning to your mind. Life is not guaranteed to be long, but it can always be meaningful. Fill it with moments you'll be grateful to remember instead of excuses you'll regret. And now, before this message comes to an end, remember why you stayed until the last word. You stayed because a small part of you still believes that tomorrow can be better than today. Protect that belief. Feed it with gratitude, courage, patience, and action. There will be difficult mornings ahead, but there will also be beautiful ones. There will be tears, but there will also be laughter you never expected. There will be endings, but there will also be beginnings more wonderful than anything you've lost. So before you walk away, promise yourself this: no matter what life places in front of you, you will keep moving forward with hope in your heart and faith in your future. One day, you'll look back at this season and realize it wasn't the chapter that broke you. It was the chapter that built you. And when that day comes, you'll smile. Not because life was easy, but because you never gave up on yourself.